Hello, how's everyone? I hope you're getting some sun. Well, as you all already know, I am Mother Wisdom Tree, and I would like to shed some light on another practitioner. Yes, go ahead and give me a like while you're at it. Okay. Her name is Valerie Fennel Boyles. Let's talk about her. She was said to be, some say, a witch. She was portrayed as a voodoo priestess. Some call her a hoodoo woman. Yes. She was an African American woman born November the 8th, 1932 in Arlington, South Carolina. Sounds like a Gullah woman, doesn't it? Everybody knew her in the family as Granny. I had a granny, y'all. Most of y'all have a granny, and that has touched your life. Yes, she has. This woman was baptized as a member of Deep Creek Missionary Baptist Church in Arlington, South Carolina. Valerie was a licensed beautician in Beaufort County. She later married Percy H. Washington and had a son she named Anthony Ray Fennel. Later, she would divorce Mr. Washington and marry Edward Boles. Valerie was known to be portrayed in a movie as a voodoo priestess. The name that she held, the character that she held, was Minerva. In the movie Midnight in the Garden of Evil. So if you all are interested in watching that movie, because I got a chance to watch it, you can purchase it on YouTube or you can rent it on YouTube. I think it's like $3 and some change. Very interesting movie. And I was blessed with the movie, and I'm grateful that they took the movie from a book, because it's actually a book. It's a novel, and they created it into a movie. I have the book, but I hadn't gotten a chance to read it yet. I'm trying to make some time to read the book. But the only issue I had with it, to tell you the truth, is it was just, she had held a very short role in the movie. Very, very brief. Not much of her character in the movie. I mean, to me, I would like for the movie to be entirely just about her. Y'all know how I am. Valerie was funny because she didn't like people taking her pictures. I'm the same way. I really don't want nobody taking my pictures, but guess what? I'm all over the internet, so everybody got my picture anyway. But I do have strangers that come up and either they'll take a picture of me or they'll ask, can they take a picture? So people are just like that, you know what I'm saying? Okay, so also, she didn't allow nobody to touch her neither. She didn't want nobody putting their hands on her. And most psychics are like that. So I'm for sure she was a clairvoyant and a psychic. You know what I'm saying? And the reason why a lot of people don't want their pictures taken and things of that nature is because it is said that if a person have your picture, they can put work on you. Duh. Of course they can. They can do all kind of things with your picture because, it contains your essence, your soul, everything you're comprised of. So this is why a lot of people, especially psychics and mystics, prefer for their picture not to be taken. And I imagine that she was harassed. You understand? After that book was written, she didn't get no peace. All she wanted was some peace and to just be a regular person. Okay. So we know for sure this was a Gullah woman because a lot of Gullahs are in that particular area in South Carolina. Some of you all may be descendants of South Carolina, that particular area in particular. Because the Gullah people are known for their strong ties, you understand, to their West African culture, you understand? And they brought their practices over with them, you understand? And the African diaspora and the different religious practices of Voodoo, Ifa, and they have done a very good job to preserve it. But the sad thing is they're losing it. But you know what it is. The government knows that it's difficult to tame people when they are in contact with their traditions and their culture. Okay? So that's one of the reasons, going back, she was funny about people taking her photos because she felt like they would hex her. So she was very standoffish and she wanted to be as far away from the public as possible. You understand? But they invaded her life, as we see. Also, if, because I'm sure she did spiritual work, look at her. You can see that she is a spiritualist. You understand? She has the crucifix on, which is interesting because most of us as practitioners know we have to have that cross around our neck. I got mine on right now as we speak. She has a spirit stick with her companion, and she is ready. And I love that robe she got on. But yes, she I'm sure she did do spiritual work. And when you paid her, because back then, you ain't had no Cash App, probably during the peak of her career. They didn't have Cash App, probably PayPal, and all these other different online ways of taking money. So most people would bring to you cash. I know Auntie said that she would make them bring to her money orders. You know what I'm saying? Because she didn't want nobody to touch the money. And I'm the same way. When I have clients that come to me in person, I don't want to touch your money. If I do touch your money, I'm definitely going to wrap it up in a paper towel so that I can take it home and cleanse it. All mine is nothing against the clients, but it's just for our own protection because some people understand. So we like to sage the money and smoke the money. And I ain't talking about smoke it as in rolling it up like no blunt. I'm just saying, smoke it with herbs and stuff like that and pray over the money that whatever, the client got on them, won't get on us. And by the way, if anyone's watching me, I am from Alabama. So we down here in Alabama have some of the same practices and traditions as most hoodoo practitioners here in the South. We have different recipes, don't get me wrong. Everybody got their own recipe. It's just like cooking in the kitchen. No two cakes are going to taste the same, But a lot of our practices and stuff like that and things we do to keep ourselves safe, it's going to be kind of similar. So yes, if you give her money, she had ways of taking the money, okay? They said she would probably make you put it on the table, which most of us will do that. Put it over there on that coffee table. Put it on the nightstand. Put it somewhere over there. I know a practitioner that have a box. You have to drop it inside of a box. Okay, so or she would make you put it on the floor, just sit it out on the floor, because she wants to make sure you hadn't done some work on the money. Or dressed your hands. You understand what I'm saying? Now I know y'all saying, oh, what kind of ways? You understand? Can we do something like that? Mess with the money? Well, I know a woman in particular that when she wants to well, let me tell you, it wasn't money, but if she was selling CDs back in the day. Okay, so hey, you know what you call them, bootleg CDs and stuff, the burner CDs. Yeah, girl, how you doing if you still over here watching? So what she would do is she would take her vaginal fluids and she would rub them on the CD. And that is for the men, so the men will continue to come back and buy the CDs, because one of the children, we bought one from her, smelt it. And they said, oh my God, it stinks. And we smelled it, and sure enough, I know what that smell, that's a typical smell, you know what I'm saying? Of an unclean harlot. It had the Jezebel odor on it. Yes, it did. And so you have to be careful, because also, people will also fix their money like that too. Okay, so as I said, she was a very guarded woman, and I can understand, you know what I'm saying? This woman was private, and she just didn't want everybody coming up, showing up at her door, and all of that. After that book had them blowed up, everybody wanted to know, where is Minerva? Where she at? See, she wasn't ready for none of that. You know what I'm saying? Once that white man promotes you, you don't get no peace. All he got to do is write a book about you, sensationalize something about you. You understand what I'm saying? And you're in the dough, because he owns all the wealth. Okay? So she didn't say very much. They would always be coming over, wanting this woman to just talk and spill out her soul and everything. Woman was at the beach and somebody was over there harassing her, and they wanted her to talk and give information, but she wasn't going to do that. Okay, she was don't get me wrong, I don't know this lady personally. I'm just collecting data from the internet, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm sure her family is around, and they would probably be like, hey, she didn't do that. So I don't want to add anything else to this. These sources are coming from the internet, but I'm just putting myself in her position. I know that if I was at the beach, can y'all feel me? I would want to just be there and be able to just chill, and cool off and stuff. I wouldn't want a whole bunch of people showing up wanting me to talk. I go there to have me a vacation, you know what I'm saying? So she was very suspicious of strangers, because most of the strangers that sensationalize around this type of stuff are white people. Matter of fact, they are going over there and taking over all the property and having these folks, put out of their native land. Taxes is getting too high. Real estate is getting too high. Just like they doing the folks over there in New Orleans. White people seem to have a fetish. And I'm not talking about all white people. I'm not a racist or anything. I'm just saying, y'all know how they do, white people. Y'all know how they do. Y'all know them. When it's a good spirit in a location, and the atmosphere is very cheery and beautiful, and the ocean is there and the sea is there, they be wanting to be a part of it too. And I understand that y'all love our culture, you know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, y'all probably appreciate our culture more than we do. So, but what comes with that, even though some white people may be innocent in it and just want to be a part of it, you understand? And some of them are descendants too. Don't get me wrong. White people have African American blood in them too. Some of them. But it's the pillagers that show up and push these people off their property and have them to go elsewhere other than where their spirits were born, where their spirits are, because they don't have the money no longer to stay where they were born at. Isn't that sad, y'all? A lot of that is going on, So she was very suspicious of strangers, and she knew they was coming in. They want you to cook for them. They want us to be auntie and uncle to them. Yeah, take them on in and give them some of that good old soul food cooking. That's what they want. They want Miss Mama to fry us some good old golden fried Southern style, you understand, South Carolina fried chicken. Okay, it is said, this is gonna be a long video. It is said that Kentucky Fried Chicken, Mr. Colonel's got his recipe from a black woman. Hello, cause can't nobody fry that chicken like a black woman. Okay. So she gave a lot of spiritual advice to people in the community, and I'm sure she had a very lucrative salary in that because, a lot of the traditions are being lost and very few people are real now. You understand? Keeping it real. Everybody want to have their wigs and the weaves on. And be cute, have on they tight jeans. Sometimes I do it too because it's comfortable and everything. You don't feel like a regular human sometimes. You know what I'm saying? But going back traditionally, there were a lot of people who made sure that they followed the traditions and not go outside of the traditions because they feared being reprimanded by the ancestors. You understand? And their gods and their goddesses. So we, in order to survive back in the day, before we had all these grocery stores and comforts of retail stores, the white man pillaging, you understand? And don't get me wrong, it has made our lives very convenient, but it has gotten us out of sorts, with our culture. You understand? It deliberately does that. It makes you more a member of the army than a member of your own divine intellect. You see what I'm saying? So this is what this issue creates. So she gave spiritual advice to family, friends, and maybe clients to always keep salt at the nightstand. Is one of the things that I did pick up here on the internet. That they said that the family did say she did. She gave out advice to keep the salt at the nightstand. So you might want to keep a little bit of salt at the nightstand just in case. I know Auntie would always tell me, she said always get your aluminum foil. That's what she said, aluminum foil. They didn't say aluminum foil. They said aluminum foil or foil. And keep you some salt in there, and always carry it around in your bag, in your pocketbook, in those places, because it wards off evil, especially evil people. And then, if you got it at your nightstand, you can get you a good night's sleep, and you ain't got to worry about the evildoers. Trying to show up. You understand? While you trying to get you some rest. Yeah, so I love this story, so I love talking about these stories, so this is why I am doing a lot of laughter, but let's get more serious in it. So she would also tell you to paint, which this is a tradition in the South. You know what I'm saying? If you go to the temple, you'll see that our ceilings down south, especially in these Victorian homes, are always painted light blue. And the ceilings of our porch in most of these southern Victorian homes here in the South, all the way from Texas, all the way up there to North Carolina, we keep our ceilings painted light blue. Not everybody, but people who follow the tradition know to do that because it keeps out haints. Bad spirits. The haints will try to get in. This is why my mama had an issue with anybody opening up her doors between the hours of 10:30 and 4 in the morning, because around that time was haint time, and still to the day, haint time is around that time. And sometimes I do be going out, but y'all, we be going out, but you really and truly, unless you have some emergency, you go to work or something like that, you don't really supposed to go out your door down here, down south, especially between those hours, you understand? Because you might let a haint in. Haints just don't come in your house. They will motherfucking knock. I've had plenty of haints to knock on the door, moan at the door, and I tell them, get the hell on. You know what I'm saying? You don't mean no good. Haints don't mean you no good. Don't trust them. Don't trust those knocks at the door. So, anyways, her family also reported that she was a midwife. Okay, so this woman is definitely what we would call a healer. Okay? They also portrayed her in the movie as taking people to the cemetery, which this is a lot of what we do. We take, like, if you come down here to get one of my courses, people who have come to got my courses, I take them to the cemetery late at night. There's one particular cemetery that has chosen me. Yes, me. And I'm long overdue. I gotta go back over there. And I'll talk to y'all about some of the things that has happened to me in the cemetery. You know, like one particular thing, I took a client to the cemetery, $20 just fell in my lap out of thin air. No lie. No lie. I knew then that that's where I supposed to be. I had a man, a local, to ask me after he talked to one of the women, and I ain't gonna call her name, and she's supposed to be the big kahuna spiritualist down there in Selma, and she's the big kahuna, so she wanted to come and check me out before I came and I showed up. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing wrong with that. You might be listening now. But yes, I was born in Selma, Alabama, and I chose that particular cemetery because there are black people and white people in that cemetery. Matter of fact, I know my descendants are in there. I mean, my ancestors are in there because I have white ancestors as well as black ancestors. Thank you so much to the man for telling me where the black graveyard is. I will be there, but I have somewhat of an issue sometimes because I know most black people are afraid and they are scared of this type of work. So this is why I intentionally did not and will not. I will consider going to that particular cemetery. Okay, I'll consider that, but I know that I will have more freedom going to a black and white cemetery versus any other cemetery. Okay. But yes, it is. Yes. So she took people to the graveyard, and y'all know she would go to that place and do rituals. Okay. So, and it is a tradition of ours down south in Beaufort, South Carolina, and in the South for us to take clients to the cemetery, and for a lot of different things, to ask the spirit, the gatekeepers, and different spirits to aid us in a various amount of things, maybe to heal someone of an affliction that they can't get off of them, or it may be a matter of vengeance. Sometimes people will take you to the cemetery and bury you there. Your hair, God forbid, if they had your hair, your clothes, your shoes, and things that you touched or whatever, they take it down there to that cemetery and bury it in some type of way. It will affect you. But in my way, if you take me to the cemetery, since my mother is Yanza, it's gonna heal me to take me there. So have at it. But I have a thing about this. If I do any type of work for you, a doll, anything that I touch, you will have you, like dolls, when it comes to dolls and stuff, I will ask you for hair and some of your clothing, or a shoe. I got so many shoes around here. I may as well just start me a shoe show, but no, I'm just being silly about that. But I always ask for the man's shoe, because if you got the man's shoe, you can control everywhere he go and where he walk and where he steps. So excuse me. So yes, we do take them to the cemetery. Sometimes when you got some bad sicknesses on your body, you have to go to sleep in that cemetery. And trust me, I have gone to sleep in a cemetery before. I've gone during the witching hour, any of that. None of that frightens me. I feel like I'm at home with the spirit, because you're gonna always ask the spirit when you walk through there, the gatekeeper, for protection, and you can always give them something. You can't just show up in the door and just take something. I had to admonish somebody that went up in there, stole all the moss off the trees. You know who you is, grabbing all the flowers, and you didn't give nothing. You are a thief. You understand? And that's gonna follow you everywhere you go. So you're gonna have to come back down here and make it up, okay? To my spirits. You're gonna have to come down here and straighten that out. You cannot do that. Okay? Later on, Valerie Fennel Boyle passed away in a hospital May 8th, 2009. So she is buried in the graveyard, and I don't even have that on there which graveyard she was buried. I said I was going to try to remember it, and I did not remember it, but you all can go online and look it up, and it will show you where her grave site is. Okay? And that ends this video. If you'd like to support me in this and on this trip, let's trip, you understand? And I'll show mama some love. You can hit my Cash App, $VENITALUV. That's right, Benita Love. Show mama some love, okay? If you like to, only if you like to. And if you just can't, that's all right. Mama still love you. Could you hit that like button? Could you subscribe and hit the notification bell? Okay? I've enjoyed this trip with you all, and I'm out. Bye-bye.